Hey guys, so when I was 11 years old, I designed a robot. And when I say I designed a robot, I don't mean I did like some little sketch of my electronic friend. I mean I actually designed a robot. I had the various systems written out as schematics and how the various systems would interface with one another. Now, here's the thing. My parents were always supportive of whatever interest I had. I was interested in electronics. They got me a soldering iron, a breadboard, all those kind of components, and I would play around with them. I was interested in rockets. They let me have a rocket set, play around with it, right? But there was something about robotics that always made them feel a little uneasy. I always got that impression. I never confirmed it, but it seemed like it's something that made them feel uncomfortable. Which is kind of funny because the rockets were basically like you're playing with small explosives. It's like, yeah, be careful. Now, the robotic thing, right? I never actually built this robot. I've since lost the notebook that had all the designs in. And quite frankly, look, an 11-year-old designed it, so it probably wouldn't even work. And now that I have the means maybe to build it, I've kind of lost interest in it. In some ways, 11-year-old me was more industrious than 43-year-old me, right? But the question I have is, how do people really feel about robots and artificial intelligence? I think that actually is reflected in our popular culture. Think about our movies and our television. Terminator, Westworld, Ex Machina, Battlestar Galactica. What all of these have in common is they involve artificial intelligence / robots rising up against humanity and in some cases nearly putting us in extinction. Oh yeah, and I forgot one of the big ones, the Matrix, artificial intelligence, right? But I think the real interesting question is, how would humanity treat these robots? This has actually came up in popular culture as well. Think AI, and if that's any indication, and actually it came up in the Matrix too. If these works of fiction are any indication, we would not be too kind to them. So, two Canadian professors decided to kind of do an experiment and answer this question. David Harris Smith of McMaster University and Frake Zeller of Toronto Metropolitan University. Now, David Harris Smith had taken several trips across Canada hitchhiking, and they decided, inspired by his hitchhiking trips, to build a hitchhiking robot. They named it HitchBot. Now, HitchBot would basically consist of a child's car seat with a garbage can body, a head and face of I believe an iPad, and pool noodles for legs and arms. HitchBot wouldn't walk. HitchBot wouldn't really interact with people. All HitchBot could really do is say where it wanted to go and spout various facts. It was dependent on humans to be carried around. It was dependent on humans to get in the car. You would sit in the car. And even its, I guess you could say its energy, its lifeblood. Well, it had solar panels, but it also had a car lighter connection. So people would have to plug it into the car lighter to charge it. So how successful was their experiment? Well, they first got HitchBot to hitchhike across Canada. So July 27th, it started in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And by August 21st, and this is 2014, I should say, by August 21st, it made its way to Victoria, British Columbia. So it was successful. From July 27th, 2014 to August 21st, 2014, it hitchhiked across Canada. In fact, it was so popular, they actually had to turn off the GPS. HitchBot became very, very popular, very, very well known. And that GPS letting people know where it was, they would flock to see HitchBot. Because people are having HitchBot in their home, they're kind of hosting, the little guy. And people would show up and be like, we want to see HitchBot. HitchBot even had a social media presence. HitchBot had a Twitter account, a Facebook account, and an Instagram account, and was very, very popular, right? So you can find pictures of HitchBot at weddings, at parties, in people's living room. So then they designed a second HitchBot and they sent it to Europe. The second HitchBot hitchhiked for 10 days in Germany in February 2015. Success. Once again, HitchBot went on adventures. And then in the Netherlands for 3 weeks, June of 2015. So HitchBot 2, also a success. So HitchBot hitchhikes in Canada, HitchBot hitchhikes in Germany and the Netherlands. It makes friends. HitchBot is living his full life, his or her full life. Does HitchBot have a gender? Maybe HitchBot is non-binary. I don't know, but it doesn't matter because HitchBot is living its best life. They are living life. So then they decide to take HitchBot to the U.S. And this is where disaster hits. So the plan is for HitchBot to start in Boston and make its way to San Francisco. So HitchBot starts Boston July 17th, 2015, and it makes it as far as Philadelphia because someone finds HitchBot after, HitchBot is putting posts on his social media, and then one day in August, it just goes cold. GPS turns off, no longer posting on social media, and someone actually finds a decapitated HitchBot on the side of the road. Someone took out his GPS and his iPad brain / face, and that's the end of HitchBot. As someone said, with the question, what happened to HitchBot? Philadelphia happened to HitchBot. Okay. So what do we learn from this? Well, if you're a robot, don't come to the U.S. That's what we learn. Okay. I think our relationship with robots can be seen with the etymology of the word robot. The word robot comes from a Czech word roboti, which basically translates to servant, working serf, essentially a slave. And it came into popular language from a play written by Karl Čapek called Rossum's Universal Robots. Now, the robots in this play aren't really robots in the way what we would consider robots today. They're basically these artificial organic beings that are forced to work for humans, and eventually they uprise against their masters. The idea of automatons doing work for humans is nothing new. The golem in Hebrew folklore, the automatons that the Greek god Hephaestus creates, even zombies. But the difference is in Karl Čapek's play, these robots are thinking beings, and they are indistinguishable from humans, and they are still treated like slaves. So I think that it's less of a concern of the artificial intelligence, the robots gaining sentience and rising up against us. I think the bigger concern would be like if we create artificial life, artificial intelligence, thinking robots, I think the real concern would be us oppressing them. Now, if you're interested, what happened to the original HitchBot? Because remember, the HitchBot that was destroyed in Philadelphia was HitchBot 2. And you may be happy to know that the original HitchBot is still alive, in a manner of speaking. It is now in the Canadian Science and Technology Museum. And the two professors actually built a third HitchBot, which was used in a play which debuted in 2019 called Killing Robots, written by Linda Blanchett. I've never seen this play and I don't know anything about it. So if you are curious, the story of HitchBot is where I got the name of my channel from. I like robots. I like robotics. I've always been interested in them. And I actually don't want to kill any robots. And this story always kind of stuck out to me. And when I was originally coming with the idea of my channel, I was going to focus more on technology and whatnot. So that's actually the inspiration for this channel's name, and is also the inspiration for this play that maybe one day I will watch.